Good morning. I know it's only 400 subscribers, too late, but we're finally doing it. A Q&A, so you can get to know Adrian from Rabona TV a little better. Also, I'm going to be giving away a brand new Rabona TV hoodie or crew neck of your choosing at the end. So watch along carefully because you're going to have to answer a question in order to be eligible for the draw. All right, let's go. Okay, so first up, welcome to my bathroom. Ricardo Leonard asked, just wanted to ask what nationality are you? I'm guessing Portuguese, just wondering. Hey, that's a good question, Ricardo. Nah, I'm not Portuguese, I'm Canadian, but my parents are Portuguese, Azorian Portuguese, so like Hawaii of Portugal. Think the Hawaii of Portugal, basically. Exotic stuff, I know. I feel like I still have toothpaste on my face, sorry. So, when it comes to which national team I support, of course I support Canada, but I mainly support Portugal, which sounds sort of, you know, weird, but, well, Canada is kind of hard to support, to be honest with you, because it seems like they're never playing. I follow their progress, and call me unpatriotic if you want, but when a team is always losing in the CONCACAF qualifying rounds, you don't get to see much of them. Added to the fact that television coverage of Canadian football is pretty brutal, it's just harder to follow them. It's getting better now that more Canadians are coming up via the MLS, and I will always support Canada, but admittedly, I follow Portugal much more closer. I really got away from your question, but hey, there you go. I'm Canadian. Which leads us to Kamiki's question, and they said, I'm kind of new here. Well, welcome, Kamiki. Thanks for checking us out. So where are you from? Like, where do you live, born in, and any further heritage? Okay, so the heritage part is kind of taken care of now. So where am I from? I'm from the west coast of Canada. I was born in a place called Victoria, British Columbia. Then when I was young, my family moved to a small town called Duncan. Super small town, and that's where I grew up. Elementary school, middle school, then high school, all came and went, and I ended up moving back to Victoria for just under a year, and then I decided to move to Montreal, which leads nicely into Dave's question, as he asked, what is the level of your education and what do you want to reach job career-wise? Dave, are you interviewing me for a job with these level of education questions? Well, like I said, I ended up moving to Montreal because I got into the journalism program at a university there. At the time, I felt fairly accomplished because they get hundreds and hundreds of applicants, and the application process was pretty lengthy with some writing tests, examples of your work within the field, etc. I think what really helped me get into the program was that when I was in high school, I chose to have a work placement in my final year, so I would spend half of my day at school and the other half at a local newspaper, The paper I was stationed at didn't really give me as many opportunities as I would have liked. They mainly had me like converting PNGs to JPEGs and shit like that. But another newspaper actually hired me to cover an international hockey tournament that was going on in the place where I lived, so that was sick. Paid journalism work as a high school student? Nice. Anyways, yeah, so I got into the journalism program based off of my previous writing experience from high school, but when I got there, I realized that I didn't want to be a print journalist at all and shifted my focus more towards the broadcast side of things. The broadcast stuff was really fun. Sorry, I went on a bit of a tangent there, but basically, to answer your question, I have a bachelor's degree in broadcast journalism. Cool? I'll answer the work stuff as far as work goes a little bit later. So let's switch it up for a minute, cause Luke Gawk asks, what is your first football memory? Okay, so my first memory of actually playing football is when I was like 5. My dad signed me up and I remember going to the first practice and the field was shitty and super muddy because it rains a lot where I'm from. I didn't know anybody. I was super shy. My team was purple and I hated it. I remembered not liking football at all, especially because I had to go and play it every Saturday morning in the cold rain when there were cartoons on and shit. I'd rather spend my Saturdays watching cartoons or playing Nintendo or watching my sister play video games or whatever else I did. But I slowly started liking it more and more and I got better and better at it, but I was always put on the shitty team. In house league. Like we were always bottom 2 teams, it felt like. It was brutal. So by the time I got out of house league and started playing on the traveling teams when you're like 12 or whatever, then I was fully in love. Fully obsessed with it. Maybe it was a good thing that I was always on the shitty team though, because it made me appreciate the wins a lot more. And I think it helped me to sort of become a leader later on when I captained from like U13 to U18 or something like that. Oh, and by the way, I started out as a striker when I was younger because 1, I was big because I had an early growth spurt, and 2, I was fast. So I racked up the goals. Then I went from the silver team to the gold team when I was like 12, because that's how they classified it, bronze, silver, gold. And when I was there, we had this Dutch coach that always wanted me to play central midfield because I had decent vision, but I just get lost in central midfield. I'm not made for that. So when I started playing on the left wing, because I was the reverse Robin, cut in from the left and curled to the far post with my right, everything improved. Okay, so the next two questions are sort of intertwined. Okay, one, sorry about the guy mowing the lawn if that's super distracting. But Dieter and Jordan both asked, why SLB and not Porto or Sporting? Geographical, family influence, or history? And in answering that, I'll also answer Brian Yim's question, which was, which player made you fall in love with football? Okay, so my first memories of watching football are the France 98 final, but I barely remember anything from that. I just have like a faded memory of Fabien Barthez. Like, that's all I remember from that final. So my strongest memories are definitely from Euro 2000, and especially of Nuno Gomes. Remember that goal he scored against France? Ooh.
Keeps applying pressure here, and Nuno Gomes!
Good shit. Plus, I remembered my dad talking about how Luis Figo was an incredible player, etc., but I was a striker, so I liked Nuno Gomes. I thought he was the dopest player ever, and I was obsessed. He was at Benfica that summer, but since he did so well at Euro 2000, he went to Fiorentina. But he came back in 2002, thankfully, and Benfica was still for me, even more so when Nuno Gomes came back. That's not to say I didn't rate Figo. I really liked Figo. I had a poster of him on my wall actually when I was young, but my all-time favorite player is Manuel Rui Costa, one of the best central midfielders of all time. And I don't want to hear any nonsense from those who disagree. Rui Costa taught Pirlo how to play as a central midfielder. You're welcome, world. Funnily enough, both of my avus, grandfathers, are Sporting fans. All right. Let's get back to YouTube stuff, and Dieter asks, when you decided to get involved with YouTube, was it a spur of the moment? Or maybe because you needed to make some cash from editing? Or was it after deliberate thinking and part of a greater plan? Well, I can tell you guys straight up that if you want to make money quick, do not, I repeat, do not rely upon YouTube. I have made like no money from YouTube. I have no problem showing you guys how much I make currently. There's no secrets here. You want to see? Come, look. See? Underwhelming, isn't it? So I definitely didn't start YouTube to make money, and in fact, I would advise against it. I'm no expert, obviously, so take what you will from my opinion, but you gotta start YouTube from the right place. It has to be from a place of passion, not how can I make some cash. I had a failed FIFA YouTube channel back in the day.
Hello, everybody.
Partially because, well, one, I was shit at editing, maybe I still am, and two, I was trying to do something that everyone else was doing because others were making money doing it. That's a no-no. Don't do it just to make money. It's never gonna work. So with this channel, I was much more careful with it, and I decided that it had to be just a general football channel because that's what I know best and that's what I love. Of course, I would be a total dingus if I didn't admit that I do want YouTube to be my full-time job in the future. Of course I do, but I need to love and nurture it before then. And really grind also. Number 10, Tyler interviews Seth Rogen. So my girlfriend and I moved to the west coast of Canada, and I shifted into more of a freelance role with WatchMojo, and I still work with them to this day, which is great for me because I get to stay in contact with all my old friends and colleagues there, and it also allows me to stay involved and keep work coming in. Also, I've been able to focus more on my YouTube channel, and I mean, since we moved back, which was in October, I've gained over 6,000 subscribers. So yeah, here's hoping YouTube works out and I can make a living of it. I've just jinxed it now, I know it. Ooh, so Mega Mike wants some of the nitty gritty as he asks, how do you typically organize your videos? What do you think about other football YouTubers' video formats? And I'm going to answer this, and in turn will answer a question I get all the time. How do I know Jimmy? Okay, so first, the way I organize my videos isn't very exciting, to be honest. If you mean the videos themselves, I typically just look at the different leagues and see what some of the more interesting stories are from there. This could be anything from, I don't know, a historic win or crazy statistics or whatever. Then I just grab my laptop and I start writing. I write, I research, I write, I research, I write some more, I research some more. That's about it, really. Then it comes to the filming process, which I do here in my office, actually. I'll give you guys a shot of it after. You can see the green screen, my editing computer, so it's an easy transition from filming to editing. The only annoying thing is when I have to do voiceover because I do that in a closet because it's the most sound-friendly environment I have here. So whenever you see stuff like this,
You may have heard about the 50+1 rule whenever pundits and journalists speak about the exceptional fan culture in the Bundesliga.
just know that I'm in a closet reading that. Other football YouTube programs that I like watching, well, Copa90's comments below. In fact, I actually applied to a Copa90 competition from back in the day, the one that Ellie Menjum won to go and cover the Confederations Cup in 2013. He definitely deserved it because Derby Days is one of the best produced football shows on YouTube. Tifo Football also makes some great videos, and Filthy Fellas is a must watch. Not even for the football analysis or anything like that, obviously, but just for the ongoing banter. Of course, I watch Jimmy's stuff because he's super entertaining and I love hearing his take on things because there are certain intangibles that you, me, and the other guy will never understand in football because we haven't lived it. So I love hearing the behind the scenes stuff from Jimmy, and I wish that he would tell more stories on his channel because he has some great ones. And the mixer from his kick days was one of my favorite programs. Other YouTubers I really like are Fantano, H3 when they upload, General Sam. PewDiePie, surprisingly, has been really funny lately and way more mature. Internet comment etiquette is great. New Rockstars are great for nerdy stuff. Yeah. All right, so how did I meet Jimmy? Remember the True Geordie podcast episode that Jimmy was on? Well, I was listening along to it at the grocery store, and then he mentioned that he was starting up Radical Creative Group and that they were looking to help people and give them an audience.
To help kind of build this collaborative where we can start to work
Andy doesn't
together.
want to cut.
So this was early November, like 2016, when I had just started my channel. I think I had like 9 subscribers at the time, and most of them were from family members and close friends. So I thought, well, why don't I just email him? Why don't I just see what he has to say? Because what's there to lose? So he doesn't reply? Oh no. So I did it. I emailed him expecting nothing. A few days went by, nothing. A week went by, nothing. I had forgot about it / given up hope. And then 11 days later, I woke up to an email from Jimmy saying that he liked my stuff and offered to have me on his previews and predictions show that upcoming Friday.
I'm gonna let new previews and predictions correspondent Adrian from Rabona TV to break it down. Adrian?
Now we've seen the specialist in failure, the tie flip that shook the world, and the non-handshake that, well, didn't shake.
And I was ecstatic, man. I couldn't believe that the dude who I had been watching for years was going to let me do something on his channel. Me, a guy who had like less than 20 subscribers or something like that by the time he replied. I think when I did my first collaboration with him, I had exactly 20 subscribers. But I can say that I'm very thankful towards Jimmy Conrad and I owe him a lot. And speaking from experience from spending just under a week with him and Mike K in California, I can confirm that he's as good of a person as you think he is. He's truly one of the good guys on YouTube. And Mike K too, that's my guy. Shout out Mike K. That guy's talented AF. Would you look at that? It's Jimmy and Mike K talking double penetration.
Hell yeah, dude. If you want to know more about it, come check out his YouTube channel.
That's it. We talk about how to score. Double times.
All right, Logan Brock asks, where was my invite to the 10K Spectacular? Are we not besties? Dude, what do you think this is? This is the 10K Spectacular. You're in it right now. Also, I'm hurt that you would even question our friendship. And finally, Ilocos Metro asks, who would you say is the best Canadian music artist? Overall, I think Kaytranada is my favorite Canadian artist right now. If you haven't listened to him, then scope his tracks like Glowed Up,
And it still ain't a goddamn thing they can tell me.
Drive Me Crazy,
I'm here now, no, they've been waiting for me.
You're the One, Together. He has this remix of a Janet Jackson song called If I Was Your Girl. Man, straight summer heat.
So what if and I won't, but if I was you?
I've never had so much fun at a show in my life. Get a few drinks in you, get a little groove, tear up the dance floor, and enjoy. Anyways, that's it. So thanks to you guys for helping us to get to 10K, because you guys are part of this too. I wanted to give a little token of my affection. I obviously don't have a lot to give at the moment. I'm working on it. But I can definitely hook you up with some merch. So you can choose between a brand new Rabona TV hoodie or crew neck sweater, your choice. And to be eligible to win it, you gotta tell me how many subscribers I had when I first collaborated with Jimmy and who my favorite player of all time is. Cool, so comment below and I'll draw some names from a hat and send whoever wins some merch. And seriously guys, thank you so much for the support. When I started this channel, my goal was to have 1,000 subscribers after a year and then hopefully 5K after 2 years. I mean, you always hope you'll get more than what you ask for deep down, but to keep myself grounded and focused, I chose to go with baby steps. My friends got me these balloons when they threw me a mini shindig after hitting 10K. Anyways, so now I'm about a year and 5 months in and we've already hit 10K. That's by no means the fastest growth ever, but what it is organic, and it allows us to really build a community, which I think we're doing quite nicely here. Everyone is encouraged to speak up and everyone's voice is heard, even if I don't have time to add a quick reply. That doesn't mean I'm not reading it and appreciating it.
Thanks again, and good luck with winning the merch, guys. God, I probably shouldn't do that too often. Should we huff the rest? Rabona TV for life!